Sometimes you need to see someone else's warts to appreciate what you have. I'm talking about John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. Harbaugh was pressed during a 45-minute press conference on an offense that has been largely the same the last couple of seasons, with a slightly older Lamar Jackson every single year that keeps running into the same problem in the playoffs.
It goes back to the same criticism that we've heard for the last 3 years about not being the type of an offense or the type of a quarterback that some people want to see, and they're just going to have to live with it because Lamar Jackson's won a lot of football games here, and our offense has won us a lot of football games here, and we're not apologizing that for 1 second. We are going to improve it, no question about it. We're going to go to work to be more precise, more efficient, better at what we do. That's what we have to do, be better at it, and we'll leave the criticism to the critics. And when they're ready to, coordinate their offense and put their product on the field, I'll be looking forward to competing against it.
Spare me with that last part, John. Spare me. But I'll move on past that. What you are hearing is a stubborn football coach. Not a guy who's 69 years old like Pete Carroll. That is just a stubborn football coach that is sticking with his convictions as far as what's best for the offense. But in doing so, he is enacting the very definition of insanity, repeating the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Baltimore's had some impressive seasons running the football the last 2 regular seasons. What's happened in the postseason? Bad things. 3 years ago, they lose in the first round of the playoffs. 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago for them, they lose to the Tennessee Titans. This year, they won in the first round of the playoffs. They beat Tennessee. Vengeance in a game that was close despite Tennessee's defense being one of the worst in the NFL. And then against Buffalo, a team that has had its own issues defensively, specifically stopping the run this past season, they're entirely stopped. And John Harbaugh is telling Baltimore Ravens fans and anyone else across the NFL that, no, what we're doing is fine. That is not the kind of head coach that you want. And I feel like for all those people who think that Pete Carroll is stubborn, that Pete Carroll is getting in the way, if you take a look at the second half of this past season, where that Seahawks offense was not able to get anything done, you got to give Pete credit for pulling the plug and deciding to go in a different direction. Who knows where that direction ultimately lies? I mean, we might end up seeing Pete be like Moses walking through the desert for 40 years, and all of a sudden he's got a 10-foot-long beard at the end of it. But whatever the case, he had the stones to move on from an offense that hit a wall last year. The Baltimore Ravens did not, and they're supposedly a well-run organization. I look at what John Harbaugh is doing, and I am very thankful that Pete Carroll is in charge of the Seattle Seahawks. Is it perfect? No. Is he the best coach in the NFL? No. There are many issues with Pete. But to call him stubborn when you are seeing another head coach do the exact definition of being stubborn, it's just wrong.